And then the doors opened up. And I was like, what the?
What?
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Marvel heads.
Welcome to the Marvelous Donahues. And if you don't already know, I'm Cathy.
I'm Tom.
And we're the Marvelous Donahues. And our channel is all about everything Marvel Disney Plus.
We love Marvel, and because you're part of our family, you're Marvel heads to us.
That's right, you guys.
We love you.
Look, he's just going real off the deep end with this. And next thing you know, he's going to be doing those little finger hearts you know how to do.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with everybody. Somebody can teach me how to do finger hearts. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Never
Look, it's okay. It's
that part.
It's okay.
Don't watch that part of the video.
Look, he like covering his face and it's still going. You guys, it's still going.
Is the microphone still on?
It's still on. It is still on. But listen, you guys, we have a lot to dive into
we have
today.
A lot to unpack today, everybody.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I hope you're ready to dive in.
Ooh.
We're talking about episode 6.
Episode 6.
Or if you prefer, 6.
Episode 6
of Loki. This is the final episode of season 1. Now I hear they're gonna have a season 2, but
that's what it says at the end.
Stay tuned.
Look, let me tell you something.
If you haven't watched the episode, go back and watch it. Mm-hmm. But not now.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, yes.
And we're going to get rolling.
We are going to get rolling. The last time Tom drove, today I'm going to do it. Because there's so much.
There is.
Oh my gosh, where do we start?
Oh my gosh, how about let's start at the end of time.
Okay, I get it. And if you watch the episode 2, you'll get it. And before we get started, there are some spoilers here. So let's have a spoiler alert. And you can stop this video and come back later and go do our other videos or watch our other videos.
And you should watch all our
You should.
videos.
And watch them to the end, people. To the end.
We have no cliff notes.
No.
So.
We have no cliff notes. And just a reminder, our videos are a little bit of free form. We have our note cards here, but we're just talking about it. We're having a conversation about the show because we're Marvel heads ourselves. We love Marvel.
That's right. And we're like, it's like you're in our living room. You're kicking your feet up.
Actually, this is our kitchen.
It's our kitchen.
I don't want you to kick your feet up in my kitchen.
Not in our kitchen, no.
No, you just join in.
It's our kitchen, so
no, I don't want you. You probably see the microwave back here, but we had to change some things around just so we could get our lights right. You know, we both wear glasses, so we got to keep adjusting.
That's right.
So y'all can see our beautiful eyes. But anyway, I digress. And let's get back to Loki. I done drove us off a cliff, you guys. Come on back. But we'll start at the end of time, like Tom says.
End of time. What happened?
Oh my gosh. People, listen. So, Loki and Sylvie have slayed the beast. What's that beast called, Tom?
You know what?
It's in the notes. Alton or something.
Yeah.
I just say he slayed the beast. Alaton. Alioth. Okay. Listen, these names. I'm like, who's coming up?
We'll probably edit this out. So.
I'm not editing nothing out. You just get what you get when you're watching us. We are for real. That's how you're going to get. But anyway.
Why can't they pick easy names? How about Joe and Charlie?
Yes.
What?
They've enchanted the beast.
That's right.
And the cloud, and they're at the door.
Well, they're not quite at the door yet. Remember, they walked through. We thought, at the end of 5, we thought, clouds opened up, and the beast is enchanted and slayed.
Yes.
We thought, okay, it's going to be, a couple mile walk to the castle, right?
I guess. There was something.
Little do we know, it wasn't a couple mile walk. It was like they journeyed through time to the end of time.
Yes, they really
and
did.
I like the beginning of the episode. I don't know if you guys kind of watched the beginning and the ends, but I like the fact that they had that kind of musical montage, the musical thing. They had that Captain America music. Remember when he was kind of trying to romance Agent Carter and had a want to have a romance with her, and they had that music from the 40s, and then. Remember, they slid in a little bit of Falcon in there when he's talking to who? Ant-Man. He says, "Hey, Tic Tac." Remember when Ant-Man was that big?
Right. So you know what the thing? I think that was just traveling through the journey.
Yes.
The journey of Marvel. So if you don't remember that beginning scene because you were all up in it. But go back and listen. It has little, what they call them, Easter eggs in there throughout that little montage of them traveling through time.
Right. That's right.
So
little milestones, little mile markers, if you will.
Exactly. So now that they've traveled through time, Loki and SYFY are at the door, and I was surprised. She was kind of overcome with emotion.
She was.
And Loki was understanding.
Well, what I thought too, and I'll kind of go into my thing early on here. Every video, every episode, I have a theme about what I think the video is about, and I think I kind of dubbed this episode as being one of a conditional episode, and what I mean by that is that a lot of times things happen to people.
Yeah.
And you're shaped by, it's like we talk about nature, nurture, but in this case, it's like the conditions within which you're faced can lead you to decisions, good decisions, bad decisions. So that's where I kind of thought the episode was kind of about for me. And I thought that, to me, I think, speaking as a man, is that Loki... seemed like a changed person. If I looked at him from episode 1, episode 1 Loki to now episode 6, you know what? Remember episode 1, he probably would have been fighting SYFY about, should we kick the door in? Should we not kick the door in? Oh, let's do it my way. But guess what he did? He was, I hate to use this phrase with Loki, but he was kind of like gentlemanly. He was kind of courteous. He was kind of like, well, what do you want to do? Well, let her make the decision about the castle door. And then what happens?
Well, I'm just saying, let me just, right there, that stream of emotion that you were talking about, that she was there, Loki understood, and he just said, you've been waiting for this moment your entire life.
That's true.
Because you think about it, she was almost pruned when she was 8 years old, which she doesn't have any idea. Her idea about it is that I was the wrong type of Loki. I was a female Loki, and I was the wrong variant. So they took me from Asgard at 8 years old or whatever, and I've been surviving. So I've been waiting this whole moment, and she was kind of overcome with emotion, and then once they got in, they thought they were going to kick the door open, and it just opened. Right.
That was, I don't know what you all thought when you watched the episode, but gosh, I was like, what's behind the door? I was like, I thought there was going to be like some bad dudes or bad monsters or something.
And there was that little crazy clock.
That crazy TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the clock has a name.
It does. It does. Yeah, because remember...
If you don't know what the name is, let me know. But
let us know in the comments.
I just call them TikTok.
The name of the clock. The female clock.
Kind of has a southern accent.
She does. So, and guess what? She's been playing a part in different... kind of schemes going on.
Yeah.
So she actually knew all that time what's going on. So that is something to behold too, because when she comes out, she's coming out to negotiate.
Yeah.
For now we know his name is He Who Remains.
And then he created all was another phrase that was used in the episode. Yeah.
And she's negotiating.
Right.
She's like, what do you guys want? Listen, I didn't talk to him. And now he says, guess what? We will put you back on the same timeline. We will give Loki, you could be in charge of whatever you want.
Right.
And SYFY, you'll wake up in bed with the family you've always dreamed of.
Right. It's kind of like the fruits of the world are yours if you stop now. And just go about your merry way. But I think this was a test. This was a test to see how how devoted they were to get to the truth. You know, or
Right.
could they be? Or I don't know. I think as we go on in the episode, we'll talk about it later. But I think it was a test. To me, it was a test to say, okay, you guys just, are you walking? Or are you talking?
Is this something that you really want? Is it something that you really want? And they thought about it for a minute. I saw them both think about it. It was like reflected in their faces.
Yeah.
But then Loki steps forward and he says, we write our own destiny now.
Yes.
And she was like, okay, whatever, and disappears.
Yeah.
And they go into this room, and I noticed that there are different statues. I think there used to be 5 or 6. I don't know. You guys let us know.
Yeah.
And one of them is broken and crashed, and it was, Loki noticed that it was dusty. He was like, well, maybe nobody's.
That was one drafty, dusty old castle.
Yeah.
Like to me.
Yeah. So Loki's like, what? And then the doors open. There's an elevator.
Right?
Yeah, elevator door comes to the top. And there is the doors open up.
I'm like, who's that? I don't know what you guys said. I said, who's that dude? I said,
it's a brother.
brother.
Was like, Barack. No, just kidding.
That wasn't Barack.
Just kidding.
In case you guys haven't seen the episode,
it wasn't. No,
that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, it was not Barack. But here's this little English guy, looked like he was from the 70s, sitting there on the elevator, and he's holding an apple. And you know what I thought, you guys? I thought instantly about Adam, Eve, and the snake.
Oh, yeah.
Adam, Eve.
The tree of good and evil. Do you want to know the truth?
Right. So he's holding an apple, and that's exactly what I thought. And I was like, Adam and Eve, and he was like, look at you two, because he has a little British accent. My British accent's terrible, but anyway.
I liked it.
He's like, look at you two.
Yes.
There's 2 of you. That you're the same. He says they're the same.
Yeah. He says, and he even mentioned, he says, look at this. He was amazed. He was like, we've got 2 Lokis in one place.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's, I don't know. He was just, I really like that character.
I do too.
I thought, I'll use a phrase we use today called, I think he was kind of super chill. He was super chill.
You sound like, now you know you got a YouTube channel. Super chill. He was really, I think he chilled because he knows I'm in control. So he invites them.
Yeah. As we go through the episode, we'll talk about that. Like, is he in control?
Yeah, he is. He is in control.
Until a certain point in time.
Right,
We'll
yeah. But, I did. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm looking down because I'm thinking about my notes.
Here's what I thought was fun. So they see the guy, right? They see the timekeeper, and they're like, okay, and they're ready to throw down. They're like pulling their swords out. They're like, and it took them a while. It took them a while through their conversations with the timekeeper to really be like, have, I guess, a level of like comfort, if you can really call it comfort.
Yeah, I don't think it was comfort yet, because remember
the
elevator.
They were still on DEFCON 5 or whatever you want to call that.
The elevator ride up
Yeah.
was interesting because she tried to kill him and he just disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, because she was like, Loki even said, "You're just a man." He was like, "Yeah, I am." And she was like, "Well, you can be killed." And he disappeared. And then when the elevator opens, he's right back there again.
Yeah.
And he's literally goes in, and you know how they said nowadays he's going to spill the tea. He was fixing them tea to have them sit down.
I thought, you know what? I thought he was a kind, gentle. I don't know. I thought he was a kind, gentle timekeeper. But, you know, we go back to some of the previous episodes. I remember when Owen Wilson's like, you know, they're talking about, you know, the ends justify the means. Remember the episode where he's like, "Oh, I thought I was doing a good job," or "I thought I was doing, you know," or, you know, the ends justify the means. It's like, you know, maybe there's 2 parts to that story.
Right. I do think that too. And that's going to come later on. But when you think about, you know, him fixing them tea, and I wrote down this because he offers them tea, And he fixes the tea the way Loki likes it. He specifically says it has 2 sugars in it.
Right.
So he does know all.
Yeah.
But I was thinking was that he was literally, going to pour the tea to spill the tea.
Right.
That they're going to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But when they start to sit down and talk, then they're like flashback to TVA.
Right.
And there's the big boss. What is her name? Boss lady. I
think we finally figured her name out. Judge Renslayer.
And
she and Owen Wilson are talking, and he comes in. He's like, "Look, we're all variants. We're all fake." Then they have a very interesting conversation about free will, and I thought, there's a riff or whatever you want to call it, disagreement between them. They're like, "Hey, you can't take people's free will." And then she says something extremely interesting. She says, free will only exists for people in charge, for the people in charge, right? And then, their final kind of, we thought she was going to try to prune him or whatever, but she leaves. He's like, "Where are you going?" And she says, "I'm going to find free will."
Yeah, and she disappears.
Yep, she disappears.
I think that part of that to me too is that she was surprised to see him when he walked in the door.
I agree.
He walked in the door, but then she says, "Well, if anybody would survive, it would be you."
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I feel like that she was surprised he would survive, but she was also confident maybe because she knew what was at the end.
Right.
Even when he didn't know. That whole conversation between the two of them, to break that down for me, because I'm a social worker, so I think about conversations between people, and I also write plays, and when I'm writing, I think about those conversations, and that was a perfect juxtapose between two people that used to be on the same side. And now they're on opposite sides because she was very angry that she said, "You threw away eons worth of friendship." She was like, "I protected you. I did all these things and you threw it away for 2 Lokis." Right. She was hurt.
Right.
But she was angry. But I also feel like that she's power hungry. Because she knew these secrets, and then she didn't tell anybody. He's thinking, if you were really my friend, you would have told me this. But no, they started off together, and she was power hungry. She climbed to the top because she did things that people wouldn't do, so she can be in power.
Right. And see, this goes back to my thought about the conditional aspect. There were, you can't have. To me, you can't have one-sided loyalty. You can't say, "Well, Mobius, you be loyal to me and trust me, but then on my side, I'll just keep stuff from you. I won't tell you stuff. I won't tell you stuff that's going to actually help you." She, her veil over this whole thing has been, "Well, I'm trying to protect you."
Right.
Well, wait a minute. What are you protecting me from?
Exactly. And I think that her guise of protection was based on, I want to be in charge.
Right.
And okay, let's flip back a little bit too, where the little time clock showed up and she was like, I've downloaded some things into your doc.
Yeah.
And she was like, "This isn't what I asked for." He's like, "Well, you know what? This is going to be more helpful to you."
And we don't really know.
We don't know at all. What that is.
Yeah, we don't.
But it's something to help her out. And I'm like, well, why is the timekeeper trying to help her out? I don't know.
And that's going to be an interesting question.
Yeah.
It won't be for this episode, but it'll be what happens next.
Yeah, in episode 2.
Yeah.
But like Tom was saying, that they get into a fight because he can't beat her. She beats him, and he was like, go ahead, go ahead and prune me again.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. She's like, well, I'm leaving to find my destiny.
And looking for free will.
That's right. That's right.
So it's like, what's that? So my question is, what is that going to look like?
Yeah, what does free will look like to her?
Mm-hmm.
Because she has a totally different concept of good and evil.
Right.
Let's flip back for just a minute. Flashback, flip back, whatever. Just a minute when
flashback.
She's talking to the other girl. What's her name?
B15.
B15. And B15 and Mobius have outsmarted her because they're going to use... They went down to Earth to find her variant, and she's a principal at a school. And that pen...
You know what, I don't know about you guys, that surprised me. I'm like, well, but everybody...
Yes.
Everybody is a variant, and
yes.
everybody is got a story.
Yeah, they do. And I feel like that was her story, and she was keeping it from everybody, even though she's like, well, I just want things to stay the way they are.
Mm-hmm. The status quo.
Where I'm on top, and you're just following me aimlessly and blindly.
Exactly. Exactly. And I might do anything I have to do
to protect that.
To keep
it.
Yep.
And that's, strange.
Exactly. And then, it was interesting because we kind of flip in scenarios. So we now go back to the castle. We're talking to the timekeeper's talking, and there's some more detailed conversations.
And we're going to do a part 2.
Part 2? What?
Yes. We want to give you guys a chance to really talk about this episode. Sorry, you guys. And have conversations about it. So we're going to pick up right here next week.
Same YouTube time. Same YouTube channel.
Goodbye, you guys.
Bye,
See
guys.
you next week.
Take care.